After the ruling came out with Judge Torres that XRP in and of itself is not a security, what happened in New York with the NYDFS, Jay?
Less than 2 months later, the New York Department of Financial Services came out with an update to their green list. Now, I have been complimentary of the New York Department of Financial Services for having a green list that the SEC does not have. And this green list says if you're an exchange, you can offer these tokens to New York residents, you're good. If you want to list a new one, then you've got to go through a process with us, which again, that makes sense as well. So I've been, complimentary of how it's been approached. And so XRP has been on the green list. And so after Judge Torres ruled that XRP traded on the secondary market is not a security, less than 2 months later, the New York Department of Financial Services updated their green list and withdrew XRP from the list. It's no longer green listed for residents of New York to trade in XRP on any platform that has a bit license that can operate in New York. So this struck me as kind of odd because Gary Gensler took the loss. You and I went through it line by line, and it was a loss, and a big loss, and an embarrassing loss. And then the next thing you know, this other state regulator says, no. Now that XRP has acquired clarity that's not security, we're going to delist it. This is what we call a non sequitur. It does not follow at all. In fact, if it had not been on the green list, the decision of Judge Torres would be a reason to add it to the green list, not take it off. And so me being a semi-retired lawyer with a little time on my hands thought, you know what? I'd like to understand what exactly has happened here. This is a government servant, government agency, and we're supposed to have sunshine laws that allow citizens to understand why their government does what it does. So I sent a Freedom of Information Act to the New York Department of Financial Services immediately after that press release came out. In New York, it's called FOIL with an L instead of FOIA with an A. And it just means Freedom of Information Law. And so, and it's very, very similar to FOIA. And they have a deadline to respond. And all I said was, I would like to have every single document, slip of paper, text, voicemail, video chat, or anything else that involved the decision to delist XRP from the green list. Want all of that. Oh, and the second thing I want is all communications with any other agency of government at any level, including the federal government or any other state or any other agency anywhere in the world, where they communicated to you about your decision about whether to delist XRP. And of course, what I was looking for there is whether the SEC had influenced this decision, because it makes no sense at all to delist when it's clearly not a security. And a federal judge in the town where you work in Manhattan said, not a security. And so anyway, I sent this Freedom of Information thing, and basically so far, I don't have any documents. So far they have missed 2 deadlines that they get to extend their own deadline. So now the next deadline is the end of this month, January 31st. And so while I am a lawyer, and I have a license to practice in New York, I've retained a lawyer who's an expert in Freedom of Information Act law cases, and I'm not going to let it go, because what was done here is quite bizarre. Perhaps, Brad, there's a rational explanation for this. I cannot think of what it might be, but I'd like to see the documents and see if, in fact, somebody put their thumb on the scale and said, look, I know this is embarrassing to take it off the list when it's clearly no longer considered a security, but we got to do it because somebody over here is applying pressure. I don't know. I don't know if there was a political consideration, but I intend to find out. And if it requires filing litigation in New York, that's what I will be doing.
After the ruling came